How could we know these things and be quiet? It's either they are true or they are not true. You know, when I began to study the Bible for myself, many years ago, I was just a young guy. And, you know, I grew up in church, you understand? I grew up in church. My grandfather was a pastor. And so we were church people all the time. So always in church. From children's church to senior church. You understand? So I grew up in church. And I heard a lot of preaching. My dad was preaching to us all the time. But I hadn't started studying the Bible for myself. But when I began to study the Bible for myself, I was amazed at what I saw. I was shocked. I was surprised. I was surprised. Because as I studied it, I thought, what? I couldn't keep it to myself. I had to tell somebody else. That's when I started winning souls. I started leading people to Christ. Because I had seen this thing in the Word for myself. I couldn't keep it to myself. I had to preach it everywhere. I was preaching it to fellow students in school. From there, I took it to other schools. I went to preach in other schools. I didn't stop. I had to go to the hospitals to see them and preach to those in the hospitals. I couldn't stop there. I started going to the villages. Are you hearing me? To the hinterlands. I was going there to preach to them. Yeah. To the poor, the poorest of the poor. Going to preach to them. I went to the streets. I preached to people in the streets. I went to beggars. I saw them. Sometimes I sat close to a beggar and preached the gospel to him. I couldn't stop. I had to preach it everywhere. And the more I preached it, the more I cried to God. Oh God, let not the poor return ashamed. Let the poor and needy praise thy name. I'll pray like this. Sometimes in the nighttime I'll wake up crying and praying for the poor and the lost. Because I was thinking, Jesus is so real. How could we be quiet? How could we be so quiet? I had to tell it. I had to tell the untold, reach the unreached. Because this gospel is real. This gospel is true.